are you there? Ollie's in the house, and I've got another loaf of bread for you. Today's loaf comes to us from a new source, one that I have not yet quoted in these videos. Edgar Allan Poe. And he says, "People have called me mad, but the question is not yet settled. Whether madness is or is not the loftiest intelligence. Whether much that is glorious, whether all that is profound, does not spring from disease of thought, from moods of mind exalted at the expense of the general intellect. People have called me mad, but the question isn't settled yet, whether madness is not the highest form of genius." Edgar Allan Poe basically says a lot of the same things I said in that previous video. Deviant thoughts are a source of freedom. They allow us to go outside of the box of normalcy, the box of conformity. Well, Edgar Allan Poe takes it much further than this. He is questioning whether or not all that is great, all that is inspiring, and all that is amazing is not the product of some kind of deviant thought, some kind of diseased thinking. Now, we have to be careful because the words that he's using give it a negative connotation. When we talk about diseased or deviant, we don't normally view these words as positive. Well, when the quote-unquote healthy way of thinking is deeply unhealthy, then what you need are sick thoughts. What you need is a diseased mind, because that's the only thing that's going to allow you to break free from the so-called normal or healthy way of thinking. Poe is saying that maybe, just maybe, some kinds of madness are actually genius. And I think we can see this in many ways. If you look at people who are, for example, on the autistic spectrum, oftentimes these people are savants. They're geniuses. They are able to do calculations on the spot. They're able to paint things from memory and do all these amazing things. And yet, we consider these people to have a mental illness. I think there's something to be said about these alternative states of mind. Just because a mind works differently than the average mind doesn't make it diseased, and it doesn't make it broken. It just makes it different. And by God, do we ever need different minds in this day and age? The last thing we need is another cookie cutter follower. So be crazy. Be mad. Be a deviant. Stray from the norm. Don't follow the path laid out in front of you because it's not your fucking path, my friend. Make your own path. Get out there and do it. And don't worry about what people think and what people are gonna think. Because as Edgar Allan Poe says, how do we know that everything that is glorious is not the result of some kind of madness? How do we know this? How do we know that genius is not just another form of craziness? How do we know? All we know is what we've been told by society, by our teachers, by culture. And these things are demonstrably false most of the time. So don't worry about what people are going to think of you. Let your crazy shine. You have a unique madness that no one else has, and you would be a fool to repress it. The intellect is great. Reason is a powerful tool. But if we want to achieve our full potential as individuals and as a species, we are going to have to find states of being that go beyond the intellect, that transcend reason. These are the moods of mind that are exalted at the expense of the intellect, as Edgar Allan Poe says in this passage. Well, it's food for thought at the very least, and I hope that it gets the gears in your head turning. And I hope that it helps you to realize something you haven't realized yet. Whatever that is, not really my concern. My goal is always to introduce new ways of looking at things, to introduce insights that are not commonplace or that maybe are unorthodox. And if I have achieved that for you today, then I consider myself blessed and privileged. Until next time, live well, my friends.